Hey guys, this is going to be a pretty simple video about some of the survival games that I've played over the years and how I feel about them by putting them into a tier list. Let's get straight into this. Starting off, we've got Teir. It's a pretty good game. You roll around in vehicles and you expand it and compete with other AI generated vehicles and stuff. They're I'm going to put it in B. It's pretty good, but it's not super replayable for me. I'm gonna say the same for Airborne Kingdom. It's kind of it's less of a survival game, but it has survival game elements. It's a city builder thing where you fly around in a floating castle. Astroneer is an easy S tier for me. It is one of my favorite games, and it's super replayable. It's super fun with friends. They keep updating it with a lot of new features that really expand new aspects of the game. Dying Light, kind of a survival RPG kind of game. I'm going to put it in A tier. I really enjoyed playing through it with a couple of friends of mine. And since I've revisited it a couple of times, but not to the same like depth as I did during my first playthrough. But overall, it was a very, very good experience. Terraria, again, gotta put it in S tier. Uh, One of the longest running like live service survival games out there, and it just keeps getting better and better. And the developers keep saying that this update's going to be the last one for sure, guys. Trust us. And then a couple months later, they're like, well, actually, no, we lied. There's a couple things that we wanted to add. And so it just keeps going. And the modding community for Terraria is very, very strong. Subnautica, easy A tier. Very, very good open world survival game. Has a very good story. The base building is super satisfying, and it's underwater, so that's pretty fun. Below Zero is easy, easy, easy F tier, though. Sadly, um, the map is smaller. The base building is. They tried to do the exact same thing and add more onto it to make it more complicated, but it just made it more convoluted and grindy to get resources to build things. Um, and the story is it just falls so flat compared to the first game. Um, Trailmakers. Now I haven't played too much of Trailmakers, and it's more of like an open world building game. I'm gonna put it in C tier though because I you have to unlock individual parts like one at a time from specific places, and it just felt like if I wanted to build a certain kind of vehicle and I had 99% of the parts and I was just missing one, I'd have to build like three other vehicles to go out to explore to find that part and then make another vehicle to unlock that part to make the one that I wanted. And so it kind of just feels like you're doing things just to do them. Um, Space Engineers, another S tier. I'm actually going to, no, yeah, I'm going to put it in low S tier. It is from Keen Software House, which they've kind of abandoned a lot of their previous projects, sadly. But Space Engineers is a very, very good example of how to do a in-depth sandbox space game. So you can like there's so many different parts that you can combine in really unique ways. And again, the modding community for this game is super strong. No Man's Sky is it's okay. I'm gonna put it in C tier though. It obviously had a horrendous launch, and I know that it's been really worked on heavily by the studio, and a lot of development has gone into it to make it a fully fleshed out game. My problem with it is super grindy. Like the you can either the I haven't played it a terribly large amount. I know that there's a super dedicated community, and I haven't experienced a lot of like the well, I haven't beaten the game, and I haven't experienced like the weekly missions and stuff. But from what I have played, it feels like, for example, I really like a lot of the ships in No Man's Sky. It took me a week of grinding to find a ship that was half decent, that I could afford, and that looked okay. And that is also part of the problem, is that things are just it's kind of ugly. A lot of the aliens are just a random head slapped on a random body with random legs, and it doesn't really work. You have to spend such a long time trying to find a planet you want to set up your base on that has the resources you want, that is fairly decent looking, and has not horrible animals. So it's still not great for me. I'm gonna put Haven in A tier, even though it's a very simple game, and it's not difficult. It's not super long. It doesn't have a lot of like base build. It doesn't. I don't think it has any kind of base building system, but it's just really fun to play. If you want a cute little romance game to either play by yourself, and I think it's 2 player. Um, so if you want to play with a partner, that'd be great. But I had a really fun time with it. Very enjoyable. Frostpunk, I'm gonna put in B tier. It's pretty good. Um, it's really hard for me, at least. I'm not really great at like city building games, so it's not the greatest that I've played, but I do like the concept, the setting, and the execution is really good for what kind of game it's going for. Um, Stardew. Uh, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one. It's I don't like it. I don't like farming games. um, it's just kind of boring. And I'm not a huge fan of the art style, particularly like the proportions of people and animals. But I very much respect Stardew for what it is. I just don't personally enjoy it. It's not made for me. Forever Skies. This is a new one. I'm gonna put this in A tier because I think this game is definitely going places. It is kind of falling into that early access game with not a ton of content, and very long windows between content updates, kind of category. But that's okay. Subnautica was in that bucket for a very long time too, and so was Astroneer. So as much as I don't like that kind of development cycle, so far it is a very good game. The setting, the art direction, the story premise is all really good. It feels a little grindy, and there's not too much to do right now, but I can see it going places and doing really well. Slime Rancher. I have to put this. Oh man, I'm gonna have to rearrange this S tier a little bit here. Um, yeah, I'm gonna put this right there. I love Slime Rancher. It is a wonderful game. It's cute. It has a lot of depth in its systems. There's a lot of missions and storylines that you can do. The world is super colorful and vibrant, and I love the sound design. The story has a really good meaning, and overall, it's just a very, very well made game. And I think everybody who likes like survival or farm management games, as much as I don't like Stardew, the way that Slime Rancher does its kind of livestock managing is super simple and it's really fun. Slime Rancher 2, I have to put it in B tier. It's kind of the same thing as the first one, but with a slightly less engaging story, and the saturation just cranked. And that's about it. The slimes are cute. Again, the system is fine, but there's not as much depth, like character wise or investment wise, and it's just not as good. I didn't enjoy it nearly as much. Arc, I'm gonna put in C tier. It's just so grindy. It's so grindy that you can't play it without spending, like, you can't enjoy it without spending 100 hours just collecting resources to get like one upgrade for your dinosaurs, or to get dinosaurs in the first place. And especially if you try to play online and people raid your base and then you're set back to square zero. I don't find I don't get how people find that like engaging whatsoever. It's kind of the same as Rust, which is why I never played it. It's because I had that experience in Ark and then saw other people having that experience with Rust. Lego Fortnite. This is definitely interesting. I'm gonna put this at the top of B tier. It's for what it is. It's pretty darn good. It's got interesting progression, no kind of story, which is fine. It's a Lego survival game, which is really cool. You can build with a bunch of different separate bricks, or there's a bunch of pre-made structures. The the balancing of things is pretty good, and they're still working on it. So overall, yeah, I'd recommend it. It's free. It's one of the like best free survival game experiences that you can just get on and jump into, especially because of the fact too that you have all of the like Fortnite cosmetics and stuff if you're into that. Minecraft, easy S tier, but I'm gonna put it behind Terraria actually. I feel like Terraria has a better system of progression and longevity, whereas Minecraft is obviously more about the building, um, and the community that you can create with a world and a group of friends. Or you can challenge yourself to, there's a couple of YouTubers I watch. I'll put their names on screen. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but they do some really awesome building challenges and stuff. And you can really commit to doing something awesome in Minecraft. Terraria, you kind of go through the same motions over and over during playthroughs with like some variety, whereas Minecraft, you can really do anything you want. Um, and the modding community is awesome. Grounded. This one I'm gonna put in top of A tier. I really, really like this game. It's Honey I Shrunk the Kids as a survival game. That's how I always explain it to everybody. Um, it has a very good variety of play styles. You can just play it to mess around, have fun. You can build some really cool stuff. The base building system is super nice. Um, and the combat is pretty good. The later on bosses are super difficult, and yeah, I just feel like it's overall a very good game. Breathage. I'm gonna put Breathage in. I'm gonna put it in F tier. Uh, it tried to be Subnautica in space. There's a lot of games that can fill that niche. Cough, cough, Space Engineers. Not quite, but Breathage literally just tried to be Subnautica in space, and that's how it, like edgy Subnautica in space too. A lot of like swearing just for the sake of swearing to be funny. Um, yeah, it's not something I would recommend. And Don't Starve. Don't Starve is all right. I'm really bad at it. I am very, very bad at it. And I don't have anybody that would want to play it with me. So I haven't really gotten the full experience of it. I can't survive. I haven't survived even a full year ever. Um, but I've watched a lot of videos and stuff, and of people doing playthroughs, and it seems cool, but I'm not going to put in the time and effort it takes to get good at the game to be able to make it that far and stay committed to it. So overall, this is the final stuff. And S tier, these are games that I deeply enjoy and will very often replay, like over and over. Um, Currently, I'm in an astroneer phase, and a couple weeks ago, I was in a space engineer phase, and so I'll usually play one of these games, go do something else, like Fortnite or the finals and stuff for a couple of weeks, and then I'll come back to these and just grind them out and play through, have some fun, and everything like that. A tier are games that I really like, that I'll play through every once in a while. Haven, I'm not going to probably replay though. Dying Light, I'm probably not going to replay. But Grounded, Subnautica, and Forever Skies, I'm definitely going to end up replaying very occasionally. B tier games that I've played and enjoyed for what they were, but I'm probably never going to replay them like ever again. C tier games that I actively was frustrated with and didn't like while playing them, and F tier games that I played through Below Zero all the way, but I really can't recommend these to anyone. C tier, I can recognize like No Man's Sky, Stardew Arc. I can recognize the appeal of them, and I respect the people that like them. These ones are just bad games. They're just bad, and I'm not going to change my mind on that. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, peace.